This is Sheila Butler with Successful Women Talk. Most excited today. We have very special guest, Mayi Carles. Now, she's going to say it her way, which is the correct way. I gave you the southern version of it. But Mayi is, you've probably heard dynamite comes in small packages. Well, it really does. And I cannot wait for you all to meet Mayi, learn a little bit about her background, and see what she's up to now. So, hi, Mayi.
Hi! You pronounced it really well. I
was close.
It was really close. Mayi Carles, the Panamanian version, but you almost got it perfect.
Thank you. Even with my southern accent, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, I cannot wait to share your story. I've been following you for a while now, and you're just full of energy, knowledge, great artistic ability. But before we jump into that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got started in business?
Well, before, thank you for the introduction. That makes me feel, I still pinch myself that people feel inspired and motivated by what I do. So I really appreciate you. So, like I said, my name is Mayi. I'm this Panamanian girl, 5'1" tall, 103 pounds now because of all the cupcakes that I've been eating. I am extremely passionate about creating. Since I was really little, I had this inclination for muralist painting, splattering Crayolas all throughout the wall. I grabbed Sharpies and drew mustaches on my little brother Coco. I was just so curious and hyperactive for my own good. I danced ballet and I danced throughout my whole entire house with tutus. And I knew when the cartoon Pinky and the Brain came out that I was destined to do like world things. I wanted to take this creative thing that I didn't understand quite well, but I knew I had to do something with it. When I was 15 years old, I bought my own domain name, mayicarles.com, which back in the day was a big deal because the internet wasn't this huge thing like it is, these days. But I had this vision. Again, since really young, I had this inclination. It was in me. I talked to my parents like, I know I have this thing to offer. I don't know what it is, but it's... So I've been slowly preparing for this revolution, this artistic revolution that I want to share with the world. So today, because I'm my own boss. I call myself an artistic captain, an artistic inventor. I help creatives get organized because sometimes, we think with our right side of the brain. We have too many ideas. We don't know how to put one before the other without feeling like we declined some of them. And I also love to eat cupcakes. So that's what I do.
I love it. I think the very first time I saw you might have either been on David Simon Gallagher or maybe Srini's with Broadcast FM. And I had to go and find you on the internet because you were so energetic and passionate about what you do, which, reflects in your business. But what I also see in you is that you are artistic, which is great, but you also have a business side. So you kind of have both. You've got the curse of both. How does that work for you?
It's schizophrenia. It's tough to handle because it's like having two people inside of my body. I'm very compulsive. I keep everything really organized. You can see parts of my studio. I have like my colored pencils, then my pens. And if anything gets tweaked out of place, I notice. So I know if someone has entered my studio. But at the same time, I haven't lost my childhood daydreaming capabilities, that ones that dream about, world domination and saving the world. So I have a little bit of both. It's hard to juggle, but I think that's the beauty of my mess. I've made a living out of the mess. So instead of trying to cope with it or deal with it or find harmony or balance, I figured that it's impossible. So I'm just going to be myself and show this juxtaposition and try to see if it inspires others to not try to fit themselves inside a little square box or label themselves or categorize themselves. Instead, just play off your flaws and your quirkiness, and that's your business and that's who you are and your lifestyle. So that's what I've been up to.
And which I love, because I think that's something that I also really resonated when I heard your story, because you said when you first started, because you're in Panama, you were a little bit fearful of putting yourself out there, doing video of your accent and all of those things. And I've dealt with the same thing because I have this Southern accent, and for a long time I was afraid to do this. But what I found is that it really diffuses people, and it's not an issue. As a matter of fact, I have people that say, don't do away with it. It's really good. And I can't, but I love that about you. So you want to talk about that a bit?
Well, before I tried to make it a non-issue. I tried to forget that I had a funny accent. I tried to forget that I was this girl from this country where not many people came from. I tried to forget that I come from a background where there are a lot of cultural norms, a lot of unscripted, but there traditions to follow. And I tried to put that in the back and it was like denial, and that didn't work for me. Covering the sun with one hand, it doesn't make it any less shinier. So instead what I had to do is stop running away, because that's like living in a cell. That's like living in a tight, compartmentalized space where you cannot breathe and you cannot be free. So what I had to do was acknowledge the fear. Instead of being like, fear, no, I had to be like, here I am, fear. I'm going, I'm going to deal with you. I know you're there, but I'm going to show up for my life in progress anyways. It's not that I'm fearless. It's just that I act in spite of being afraid.
I love that. And I think that's important. And in Jonathan Field's book, Uncertainty, it's kind of the same thing. A lot of people are fearful. Even those people that are on stage. When I interviewed Ruth Sherman, she talked about the fact that she coaches a lot of celebrities. She coaches a lot of politicians, and they're not comfortable on the stage either. Steve Jobs was phenomenal on the stage, but that was learned, right? He wasn't born that way.
Yeah. That's a great point. A lot of people tell me, Mayi, but you're a natural on video. You do it so well. And I think I'm up to the 120th video blog. I show up every single Friday, even though some weeks I don't feel like wearing makeup or I don't feel like dressing up, but I do it anyways because I have to practice. No one's born a natural, but you have inclinations, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. And I know that sounds so math teacher, but it's true.
I agree. I totally agree. And because of that, you've built this fabulous brand. And I think you're well known for branding yourself. So how have you gone about branding yourself? And what recommendations would you give to someone out there that's starting a new business? How do you go about adding personality to your brand?
I have a very short answer to that question because it all comes down to one thing: being authentic. There's no substitute for yourself. No one can compete with you. You are the best version of you there will ever be. So every single time someone approaches me like, how do I start my personal brand? How do I make people fall in love with my brand? And I say, turn up the volume to whatever it is you are. And that people can smell fake from a mile away. But if you are there, even though some won't like it, you polarize and you find the people that will love you, spread every single product that you release out into the world to the galaxy. And that makes that's so refreshing too, to meet people that are so real. And in this internet webosphere, there's so much disconnect. People don't call each other anymore. People don't meet up for cupcakes. People don't go out to dinner anymore. So especially because we are doing business online, people crave people and real human connections. So the more of you put into your brand, the better. And I know it sounds easier than done, but here's a meter that I use to understand if I'm doing it right or wrong. If my finger is not shaking before I hit publish, I've done a poor job at expressing my fullness. Because if I'm safe, if I'm in comfort, I'm not my best myself. So I have to push my own limits. If I almost want to vomit because I've said too much, that's when I'm at least closer to what I should be.
Oh, I like that. And you are very comfortable on camera, but like you said, it wasn't born. You've trained yourself to be. I mean, you are who you are, which is a dynamic little package, but you've been able to really go with that. Well, so let's talk about this. So you're very well educated. So you have several degrees, including a master's degree, a lot of art training. So you're formally trained, but you do a lot of different things, including you've now sort of started doing some more business type training modules. And I know you're working on something with April Bowles-Olin, which is going to be pretty awesome. So why don't you tell us about, so how is it going from actually creating things, handmade things, to creating online and doing more business stuff? How's that transition been?
Well, I still don't know the exact root of it, but if I had to pinpoint one period where I said I have to start doing this, was with an absence. Being in Panama makes it really difficult for me to ship my physical packages. Orders took longer than what I wanted them to, and I was craving faster deliveries. I was craving more connections. I was craving more people, helping more, doing more, going bigger. And digital seemed like the best transition. So I still do the products because it's something that's very true to myself. But the digital aspect of creating products, services, membership sites, that has helped complement my brand in a way that allows me to do more in my pajamas. So my project with April, it's been, oh my God, it's been like 1 year in the making. But it's amazing because April compliments me so well. She's my better other half. I'm very artistic. I do the designs. I want to do the whimsical illustrations. With copy, I'm not that great. I have a lot of typos. That's why I show up in my own blog in video, because if my writing is not very good. April has a background in therapy, so she understands the human psychology. She understands people. So we merged together in a duo that could really be stronger. And I wanted that. With her help, I can be better myself. And hopefully, with my help, April can, better what she's already offering in her site. So it's been an awesome collaboration. We can't wait to release it into the world.
And we can't wait to see it. This is going to be awesome. It's funny that you said that, because I play around with, a lot of people said, why do you do this show? And I'm not 100%. I do the show. I am 100% why I do the show. I think it's important to highlight the stories of successful women, because I don't think there are enough highlight out there. And there are so many women doing amazing things. And I too do consulting, and I own another business, so I do a lot of things. But I love that, and what I've recently changed my tagline to is connect, collaborate, rinse, and repeat. I think it's important to connect, because we need to connect. They've had social networks forever. It used to just be at the corner bakery, right? Or it used to be at the butcher. And now we don't do as much of that in real true life. I don't see your eyes. And that's why I love the video. But I also love the collaboration, because I think so many great things can be done when you connect and collaborate, and then just do it over and share it.
Yeah. And the best way to better yourself is to have someone that pushes you to be more outstanding, to be greater. With something so subtle as, for example, find a better hosting service. Like researching with our own sites, we have something, but with the project, we wanted something even better than what we could do individually. So that already raises your bar and pushes you to get closer to your end goal instead of in 10 years, maybe in 2.
Sure.
And it's not easy to find someone that compliments you. It's not about, let's collaborate with everyone, because I am a true believer in saying no to things that don't expand you, saying no to things that take up time from your real purpose in the world. But when there's a hell yes, when there's someone that is just, you are attracted to that person as a magnet because she or he creates something in you that you're like, I want to do more, I want to talk more, I want to have mojito parties with you and brainstorm and think tank, then you have your finger on something truly remarkable, and you don't let go ever.
I agree. And I think from that can come amazing things. Apple was from a great partnership. Microsoft started from a great partnership. You know, with my first business, I was in a partnership that ended up kind of turning sour. And a lot of people would go, wow, can't believe you're going into a partnership again. But I actually just took on a partner in my other business. And it's amazing because what she does, I can't do. And together, amazing things happen. I love it. Hey, let me ask you, how have you, as far as like social networks go, how have you branded yourself? How have you gotten a following? How have you found people that say, wow, I need to follow her and see what she's doing and connect with what she's doing?
I don't think there is one specific thing, but what I try to do is start conversations. Start conversations without being like, oh, today I have to start a conversation. No, it's more natural. It's like I'm all by myself in my studio wearing my pajamas. It gets lonely sometimes. Hubby hasn't arrived at my house yet, and I'm, craving real human interaction. I want to know what my gal pals on Twitter had for breakfast. So let me ask them. It's casual. It's social networks. So just see it as a natural conversation. That way you won't feel icky when you're promoting your products, because it's not like, hello, look at me, I have a product. You wouldn't do that if you're out having dinner with your friends. So the same thing, don't do it on social media. So the way I treat my brand, the way I expose everything that I do is very casual. It's very natural. It's a way that I would talk to my best friends. What else? I think there's a lot about emotions. I think it's not only about starting conversations, but evoking. It's about making people happy, or making people cry, or making people feel deeply, or making people laugh. Today I had a video post on my blog about laughing, it's just about making people go from numb, being sucked to your computer screen, to feeling alive again. So my conversations are about getting a dialogue started, but also to making people feel something.
I agree. Excuse me. I think people want to deal with people. People want to, when they work, they want to buy from a person, and they're able to see who you really are in your videos, which I think is great. Some people, I know that if you're in an industry, you're a lawyer or something, maybe you can't be that fun, or maybe if you did, it might really lighten your life up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But in general, life is too short. And with my last business, I probably took it much more seriously than I am my current two businesses, because life is too short. And if you're not having fun, what is the point?
And people can feel when you're just going through the motions in a very blueprint type of way, like, oh, she's doing that because that's in that book. And that's a step number 3. And she's doing step number 3 now, and then she'll go to step number 4. It's so predictable. It's so scripted. It's so lame and boring. If you just go off the path and break all of the rules possible. And a lot of people, for example, say, people don't care what you had for breakfast. Oh, well, I beg to differ. Oh, people don't want to see your baby pictures. I beg to differ. People want to see you, whatever that is, and whatever that means. So if there is a blend between the business and the personal, you cannot unmarry the two.
I agree. And big conversations start from small talk. You don't start out with a big conversation. So small talk is extremely important.
Brilliant.
I love it. I agree. I think it's really, really, really important. Let me ask you this. Sorry. My whole household has had this sickness. My kids have been sick. I've been sick. As you know, we had to reschedule a couple of times. But let me ask you, how have you, what about mentors? Who do you see as your mentor, and how big of a role model have those people played in your career, your personal life, etc.?
Well, I have different levels of mentors, and from different parts, different sectors. Because again, we are a sum of all parts. I have Billy Blanks for my fitness mentoring purposes. I have my grandma as the almighty of all wisdom. I have my mom for lawyerly and girly advice. I have a cousin that is graduating from Stanford. He's a smart cookie. Anything technical, I go to him. But of course, there's my colleagues. I go to April, not only for her awesome advice, but just for gal pal purposes. Sometimes I cannot disclose some very intimate stuff that happens in my business, but I know I can count on her. She won't tell a soul, and it's just for venting purposes, but also from a professional standpoint. Like, you know what? I understand. I've been there. This is what I feel. I've also hired mentors. Tara Gentili is one of them. I think Diana Valentine is up there in my vision board that I want to meet with her in person someday, because every single time that she talks, I'm like, I want more. Of course, Marie Forleo, I go to her events, I take all of her programs. So there's all over the board. Some of them I digest for free, some of them I digest paying for more of that person, some of them are family, I cannot pinpoint one. I think they all complement me in a way that I wouldn't be the same person if I didn't have their support.
I love that. And I think it's really important that you said you have a well-rounded tribe, right? So you have people, not only personal, a lot of people are, I've got to get a business mentor. Well, you need a lot of other things in your life, because although you may never get a perfect balance, if you don't get some sort of balance, you're always going to be shifted one way or the other. And I don't think you can be as productive and prolific as you need to be if you don't get somewhere in the middle. Diana Valentine, by the way, she's also going to be on the show soon. Can't wait I can't wait to chat with her.
She's amazing.
You guys recently did that event, Brand of You, on Blogcast FM. You, Diana, and Mars Dorian. What a combo. It was terrific.
Yeah, and I didn't feel so self-conscious about my accent because there was Mars there, so I'm like, finally, I'm not all by myself, being foolish.
I love it. Hey, do you have anything that you know, I know you have the thing with April coming up, anything you want to talk about, plug, send people to your site? As a matter of fact, if someone wanted to connect with you, where would you want to send them?
Well, my main site, of course, is my name, MayiCarles.com. There you can find everything that you're looking for. I link to my boutique for physical products. I link to my blog, Heartmade. Be there every Friday. I do the party prop thing, the dancing. You don't want to miss it. And if you're craving more organized or more organization into your life, take my Life is Messy Bootcamp course. A lot of people are digging that, so definitely check that out. And I would keep an eye on my collaboration with April. The product is called Connecting the Gaps. We're wearing tutus and being goofy, so
the video is hilarious.
Be sure to hop on our lists because we're about to release it soon, so you don't want to miss out on the action.
It's going to be terrific. I saw the intro video, the promo video. I think it's going to be great. You know, another thing that I love about you, Maya, is that you're just you. And you're not perfect, right? I was watching one of your videos, and you pop into the video, and you've got your, I don't know, like paintbrushes or something. And one of them flies out and almost hits you in the face, and you just giggle and you move on. And that's what life is all about, right? If you stumble, get up and keep going, because no one really cares.
No. But if you don't show those parts, you pretend that you're living this lure of perfectionism, that it's not attractive. People think that by being perfect, more people will be attracted to them. But the more flaws you show, the more human you become. And the more humans you attract.
Absolutely.
So if you're craving people, if you're craving clients, prospects, friends, and real, genuine relationships, I would just show those accidents. And not edit them, not censor them, but show them. I think that's beautiful.
Because that made me want to continue to watch the entire video, right? I'm like, okay, she's funny. And you know, she's like me. I took my kids yesterday to the museum, and I was getting one of them out of the car seat, out of the stroller, and I really almost fell down, like flat on my face. And you know, we just laughed. What do? You just, that's what life is all about. You stumble, you get up, and you just keep going.
Yeah, and that's why I love what you're doing. As soon as you contacted me, I'm like, I want to be in the show. Because you have this thing about you that's always raw and real. And these questions, I didn't know what you were going to ask me today. And I think that's beautiful too, that it's just that we're having this conversation and it's just flowing. And if I messed up or said the wrong word or made up a word, it doesn't matter. I hope that people love it. And I hope that people keep watching your show because you're doing great work.
Thank you so much. See, now I'm going to have a much better day no matter what. This has been a pleasure. I can't wait to get this posted. You are such an inspiration. We will link everything up below, including your new work that you're doing with April. Good luck, and thank you for everything you do.
Mwah! Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day. Okay, that's our show, and thanks again for tuning in. Hey, I have a huge favor. I'd like for you to join us over at www.successfulwomentalk.com. Join our email list, and on that list, you'll be a VIP. You'll be receiving all of our newest updates, newest interviews, our newsletter, and any tips and tricks we have for organizing your business and getting raving fans and customers that actually just sing your praises. So again, thanks again for tuning in. Check us out next week for another episode of SuccessfulWomenTalk.com. Thanks, guys.